Okay, the first rule of Thumbnail Club is to everybody should tell about Thumbnail Club. Okay, but the second rule of Thumbnail Club is that there are six rules. There are six first rules of Thumbnail Club. Actually, yeah, have I got to seven? Oh, hang on. G'day, Christian creators. My name is Craig, and this is Morningstar Better Thumbnails. And today, let's talk. Okay, we have six first rules of creating a thumbnail that will be the best thumbnail. They won't be great because they will be better. Now, the important thing here is if we just throw up thumbnails, we just end up getting throwing thumbnails. And really, what we need to do is just break it down. And like over the last 4.5 years, I've been doing thumbnails, and I have now developed a system that if you apply this to every single thumbnail that you're doing, it will make so much more sense. So where do we start? Now, there's the first five that together, or I should say they are all together and they make up one thing. And the last thing is so important. It really is. And without the last thing, the first five won't make sense. And without the first five, the last one won't make sense. But this is so much simpler than it sounds because I want to break it down, and every thumbnail, you just won't be able to unsee this. So let's get into this. All right. So the first thing when it comes to thumbnails is placement. It is so important. Now I want to give you I want to give you a demonstration. So let's have a look at this. Now, this guy, copyright reasons, I'm not going to say his name. He's not well known. Let's call him Mad Schmidt. Let's just go with that because he looks mad. But when it comes to trying to do thumbnails, we need to think about position and all that sort of stuff. And I'll go through the other things in a sec. So we'll get rid of Mad. And I guess what I want to do is I want to take from, I guess in this instance, I just want to copy this thumbnail for myself. And so basically I just cut out, yeah, you can see that I just cut out. I'm not going to go into cutting out because it's not about that in this point. So I kind of want to get the feeling, but I don't want to have, well, sorry, oh, whoops, wrong one. Sorry, Mad, you're out. Okay, so we've got that. But now, again, I'm not going to go through it all because at the end of the day, today's thing is not about, it's not about um, how I do this. It's just the meanings behind it. And every time you look at a thumbnail, you won't be able to unsee this. Now, position. Now, this is where, let me just come back to here. We can have, they up here now. Let's do it here. We can have thirds. Why isn't this coming up? Thirds. Come on. It's not transitioning in. Okay. I'm not quite sure why that's not working, but transition. Come on. Okay. Well, you're going to have to just believe me today. Um, Rule of thirds. No, nothing is showing up in. Okay. Well, all right. You can't see it, but you could have the your thumbnail in thirds. So you have 1/3 over here, 1/3 over here, and maybe it's easier to show here. Um, so we have a side third, a middle third, and a right hand third. But you can do it in halves. And I think that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do one half here and one half on the other side. So let's just split this down the middle and let's keep it simple. So position is everything. And then I'm going to have words on the other side. That's position and placement. I mean, really. Um, and the other thing is with placement, and again, you can't see it because it won't show up, and I don't know why. Um, rule of thirds. Come on, unhide. No, no, it's not going to show. So when it comes to this, I'm going to put this on this side. Maybe we'll call him Mad Schmidt. Um, no, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Okay, you're just going to have to guess or watch the film. No, don't watch. Well, actually, it's a good film because no, and I guess the thing is here, nobody talks about Fight Club, but today I want to talk about Thumbnail Club. Okay, so we got me on there. That is position. What's the next thing? Well, let's go with, you know what? I'm going to go with background. Doesn't have to be in order, but if we add a background, now I could go with this exactly the same, like on this one here. Where is it again? Like I could go with the same sort of background. I could probably, um, what is it? Clone him out and all that sort of stuff, but that can be a little bit tricky. But cutting his jacket out, and so we've got a part of this, and then we can emulate it with going over uh, with the background. Now, let's obviously put that behind Mad Schmidt. Oh, excuse me, Mad Schmidt. Um, and you can see that, and this is the other thing here with, I guess you could say it's color or that. We can see that there's light on the left hand side and there's light coming from the right hand side. So I went with this one because it just makes a little bit more sense. And if we make that a bit bigger, oh, actually, I'm going to go make these yeah, let's go with those. We don't have to have lots of lights, but that will be perfect. So that is the background. Now, the thing is with background, you don't want it to be dominant. So at the moment, it's a little in your face and it's a bit hard to focus. And that's the next thing. If we go over here, we go to focus. So we're on number three. First rule, focus. So obviously we want, in this case, it's me, but in your case, it will be you. And the focus at the moment is obviously all people's eyes are the first thing that you focus on. Now, the background is, yes, being a little bit dominant. So we want to change the focus. So the focus is on me. Now, what can we do? Well, one of those things we can go back to is color. We just did color. No, we haven't done color yet. Is color. Now, I could make this a little darker. So if we go shadows, now I'm using Pixel E. This program is, well, it's not, I'm not affiliated, I'm not getting paid by anything, but if you want to do Photoshop and you don't even know Photoshop, then this is the program for you. If you use Canva and it's just not doing enough, or there's things that you can do but you have to pay for, Pixel E will do everything that you need to do, because we're just doing thumbnails. We're not doing large posters for advertisers. We're just doing thumbnails. So let's make that a bit darker. And you can see that I'm starting to come forward, which is the next thing. We're talking about depth. I mean, all of these things, yes, there are 6 rules, and you can apply that for the whole thumbnail, but you can apply that for each element in the thumbnail. So you ask the same question. What is, like, for me, what is the focus? Well, at the moment, it's me, but I'm pointing at something and we're going to have some writing. So those 2 things will be the focus. So let's just make me a little bit bigger, maybe. No, let's go there. The focus. So the background. Now, a lot of people would give a bit of depth. Yeah, and now this is the other thing. Don't confuse focus with depth. Focus is what is the most important thing, and maybe I should change the name for that. But depth, we can, if we go filter, and if we go details and Gaussian blur, which is one of my most favorite tools, and we can just make it a little bit out of focus, and that way we get a little bit more depth. But we can even go further. Now, we talked about the other thing with color. So the color, now at the moment, it is similar to the, like, I want to get this, where is it again? Let's put him up the top. We kind of want to get this, it's almost a bluey green kind of feel about it. So these 2, we're talking about color. At the moment, my shirt and the background are kind of clashing a little. So we can, there's a few things we can do. We can go color balance, and we can just, what are we doing here? Oh, it helps if you have the right. So you got to select the level you want or the layer, and then we can go color, and then see, we've got a few things here, but because it's still a color image, it kind of can, especially if it's got more color in it, it can go a little bit weird on color. So what I like to do is make the level black and white. Actually, that doesn't look bad as it is. I mean, you could leave it like this as black and white, and it will be great. But now, if we do color balance, it just makes it a little bit easier. Let's have a look here. Let's go. Now the other thing here is, like with depth and focus, technically speaking, I should be going, let's just make this, technically speaking, I should make this like blue, or a contrasting color, so that you can see that I'm standing out more than when I stand out like that. But I guess with this one, I'm trying to go with a feeling. So let's adjustment, shadows. Oh, no, shadows. No. So we want to go color balance, and just kind of trying to get that bluey, where is it? That bluey green. Oh, green. That would be the color to try, wouldn't it? Are we getting there? Maybe. Oh yeah. Okay. Ah, there we go. And it's all experiment. Now, the problem here is, because I'm trying to have a similar color all around, so I guess make it look a bit more what it would naturally look like, we need to have a bit more depth and focus. What are we? So we've done placement, we've done color. Although actually, I think I can go further with that. And focus. Well, Again, I think we can go further with the same thing and depth and background. You know what? Let's do that because we could say this is color, but this is all things at once. By if we go to the background and we filter and we go glitches this time, RGB split. Now, if you can see that, actually what I might do is I might just make that a bit bigger and glitches RGB split. Now on with PixelRE, if I can just move that up here, um, we've got a few choices here. We've got distance. You can see the split with the RGB is um, long and short. Direction, we can go up and down. I'm gonna keep it left to right, and the amount we can do that. Now I'm gonna keep that fairly strong. And then these different, oh, excuse me, these colors, we can, you can see them changing a little bit. And I kind of want to go with, okay, we've got the purples here, direction, greens. Oh, it's a little tricky. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go with this one because we've got greens and we've got almost purples. Maybe if we distance, no, if we go distance, yeah, we get rid of that red and we go with the purple. Does that change anything? Yeah, let's just do that. And maybe glitches, no, details. I'm going to go with, no, radial blur or zoom. Motion blur. Let's go with motion blur. And it just, it kind of gives a little bit more distance. The more blurry it is, angle, that doesn't change much, but let's go with that. So that is now a lot of distance. It gives you feeling, it gives you motion, which brings us to the other thing. This is, so those 5 things are very crucial, but without this next thing, meaning, you might as well not be bothered. Because, I mean, I know that's harsh, but the thing is, without meaning, your thumbnails, nobody's going to click. We need to have some form of meaning so that so that people will click. It needs to be intriguing. Your title and thumbnail need to match, but don't repeat everything. Like, I've got how to create the best thumbnail, and then I talk about first rule of Thumbnail Club. It's a story. It's giving the next thing. So if I just said the best thing for a thumbnail, and then in this I just said the best rule for a thumbnail, it's kind of like a waste of space. But you need meaning. Meaning is so important. But if you have meaning and you've got the meaning, but you don't put all the other 5 elements together properly, the meaning will have no meaning. So how are we going with this? All right, let's add some text. And now I do like, and the Babanesu, Babasnu. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. But let's, oops. Now, what I might do is I'm going to split this up in a couple of words, but the best thing is to, let's go with pink. Oh, let's go with bright pink. And this leads me to another thing which will come back to color, is that in movies, in pictures, in a whole heap of like movies, etc., there is this 60-30-10 rule. Now, if you probably noticed, there is a lot of warmer color. No, most of this is green. So that's the 60. So 60% of this thumbnail is green or greeny blue. Then it comes down to the um, the 30 rule. So 30% will be then another color. And in this case, we've got the jacket, which is, it's a little bit of a brownie pink or kind of thing. We've got the lights that are a bit pink. We've got some things that are leaning towards that warm color. I know it's not an exact science, but color is so important. And then we just make, maybe let's make that about that size. And if we, now, I'm just thinking maybe I might create a bit more distance and depth. Let's go shadows and highlights again. And let's just drop the background a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And the other thing is I've kind of, and I've made it this way, or I've selected the right um, background, so that on this side, on the left hand side, and this is all about focus and depth and all the rest, and position, I guess, that the words can be seen easily. So um, so what do I want shadow. Now it's probably not going to be seen too much, but if we make this darker opacity, let's take the blur out so we can actually see the, so you can see the shadow. Let's go there. And this is just to get the words to stand out a bit more. So let's, and then we will copy this. So Control C, Control V. Let's move this over here. Let's talk, whoops. And we'll make this a bit bigger. Oops. So let's go with let's talk. Make that a little smaller. We could even put that a little bit off center, so it's just something's not quite right. Tracks the eye, and which is position again. Oh no, let's put that where we want it, and let's get that. Okay. Now we were talking about the 60-30-10 rule. Maybe, just maybe, we can make this one highlighted. It really depends. I mean, you could probably change this back to the pink and maybe change this to the yellow. I actually prefer that a better. That a better? So we've got two halves. We've got position. We've got focus. Um, could we make the focus a little bit more with, let's just go make it a bit darker. Oh, actually, you know what? I kind of like it like that. Let's talk. And at the end of the day, this this is all about Thumbnail Club, about sh showing, not telling, but showing you how to do thumbnails. And that's all it is. Um, and when it comes down to it, so we've got the first rule of Thumbnail Club is placement. The second rule, well, that is color. The third rule of, oh, the third first rule of Thumbnail Club is focus. Then the fourth and the fifth rules, or first rules of Thumbnail Club is background. So But without this last one, without this, it will mean nothing because it is meaning. Go do something awesome for God, and I will catch you in the next one.